Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is once again directed by Ryan Coogler and is the highly anticipated follow-up to his very successful first film. Here, the people of Wakanda fight to protect their home from intervening world powers as they mourn the death of King T'Challa. But before we get into the rest of the video, I want to give a big thank you to the sponsor, Displate. Displate is high-quality prints on metal. They're mounted on the wall with the help of a magnet, and they're very easy to hang and change designs. There's millions of designs available for everything from movies, gaming, and anime, with officially licensed art from brands like Marvel, Star Wars, Netflix, and much more. With Displate, you can build collections of things that you're passionate about right on your wall, and with every Displate that you buy, you plant one tree. And with Wakanda Forever coming out, I was excited to add something from Black Panther to the collection, and so I got this really nice print, which looks great. The clarity is wonderful, there isn't a single bit of pixelation, and I'm excited to put it on my wall. And right now you can click the link in my description to see some of my favorite Displates and get my special discount. You can get 1 to 2 Displates for 32% off, or 3 or more for 38% off, which will be automatically applied to your cart, and that's only available for a limited time. So thanks again to Displate for sponsoring this video. Please check out that link in the description below. Let's keep talking about Wakanda Forever. I've liked every single film Ryan Coogler has directed so far. In particular, Fruitvale Station and Creed, I think, are both masterful films. And Black Panther is a very fun superhero movie. So I was looking forward to this movie, but I also really feel for Ryan Coogler because he was dealt a very difficult hand. He had already completed the script for Black Panther 2 when Chadwick Boseman tragically passed away. It was a devastating loss, and I think it surprised pretty much everybody. So then Coogler had to figure out what he was going to do for a sequel to Black Panther that he had already written when T'Challa can no longer be involved. And I imagine that Coogler and other creatives involved with this movie were reeling from that loss. And he made a very smart choice to make the characters in Black Panther 2 go through the exact same thing. All the characters in this film that knew T'Challa are struggling to come to terms with a loss that they did not expect and that they don't fully understand. And so in that way, as a viewer, we immediately relate to them and understand their plight because we were shocked by it too. I won't get into specifics to avoid spoilers, but I think they did the best thing they could to address something so unfortunate by essentially creating a scenario that we all understand. My favorite thing about this movie, and the thing that I think saves it over and over and over again, are its actors. Particularly Angela Bassett, who I believe could very well get nominated for an Oscar. I think she's terrific in this movie. Lupita Nyong'o, as usual, is phenomenal, and I loved her presence in the film. When she shows up, it really injects a lot of life and charisma into the movie, and that's not to say that it didn't have it before, but sometimes characters show up in a movie at just the right point, and you really feel like they injected something fun into it. And Wright in particular steps up to the plate for a lot more screen time. And I like Shuri a lot in the first Black Panther, and there's always that risk where you have a character that's not quite a sidekick, but they're certainly a supporting character. And they're very fun and enjoyable in that role. And that risk is that when a character like that is moved into the limelight more, they could potentially not fit in that role because they were more written to be a supporting character. Gratefully, Wright helped carry this movie in a way that's very impressive. Her performance is wonderful. She's very, very good. She has so many different emotions to wade through in the course of this movie. There are funny scenes, there's tragic scenes, there's a lot of action, and she finds a way to make all of it very believable. And I also think Ryan Coogler has done a better job with the action sequences in this sequel when compared to the first. And I'm just talking about the camera work. One of my biggest issues with the first film was this finale that took place that looked very much like a fight from Spider-Man 3, and the VFX looked unfinished. The VFX this time around, I think, are stronger, in particular with the water effects, because the main villain is Namor, and him and all of his baddies tend to use water grenades that explode water all over surfaces, and Coogler films all of that in hyper slow motion, and it's very dazzling. I can imagine that James Cameron is going to watch this movie and get a little upset because there's a lot of blue people in water, and he's got one of those kind of movies coming out pretty soon. All that being said, I like this movie less than the first. I think that the film struggles with a considerable amount of narrative issues that create a very long runtime. There's a lot of story elements that didn't really connect for me. Namor's backstory is explored very well, but I never really connected with it. There was a lot of telling and a lot of flashbacks, and I never really felt the pain I think that Coogler wanted me to feel for that character because I knew that he was being set up as a villain and the things that happened to him didn't feel as real or as vital as what Michael B. Jordan's brilliant Killmonger went through in the first film. And unfortunately, Namor is going to be compared to what Michael B. Jordan did in the first Black Panther. And he was my favorite part of that film, Michael B. Jordan. And so he's missed here as a villainous presence. I wanted someone with that kind of intensity and that kind of charisma. And I just didn't feel it here. And this movie is clearly an attempt at being more of a slow burn. And when people hear that, they immediately just hear the word boring sometimes. And they think that that means that it's just going to be really dull. But it kind of depends on how you feel about characterization in superhero movies. And if you want a lot of it or less of it and more punchy stuff. Because I like a balance of everything. I absolutely adored Matt Reeves' The Batman this year, which has quite a bit of conversations and not as much of the punchy stuff. But when it does happen, you're excited about it. But there's a lot more intrigue and mystery and suspense. Wakanda Forever has not a lot of intrigue, not a lot of mystery, not a lot of suspense. What it has is characters that are dealing with a tragic loss and experiencing mourning on a level that they've never encountered before. And the people of Wakanda are forced to deal with the sudden loss of their symbol, their hero. They don't fully understand why that person was taken from them in the way he was. And it messes with their beliefs, with their culture, everything that they know. And those aspects of the movie are fascinating, and Coogler does a wonderful job with them. I just think it's maybe like 20 minutes too long, and that there's certain aspects of the movie that really could have been shifted around for a cleaner, tighter narrative. But all in all, when you are handed the assignment that Coogler was, I think he fucking passed with flying colors, because I would not even remotely want to have to deal with all of the struggles that he had to deal with before even shooting a single frame of this movie. And he proves once again that he's a filmmaker to be reckoned with. So guys, check it out this weekend and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, as always, for continuing to watch. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.